It's fine, my big English. How can you not? Hey man, welcome to the council with me, Mpomek Fool, and today I am honored to sit with a very, very smart person. I haven't spoken to her yet, but no more nagadi looks for her. She's very smart. So, mutoki today, key activist for the LGBTQI community. So we're going to talk a lot about those things. Still, I will confuse her too much. And introduce to you Thato Kgobe. Welcome, my sister. Are you good?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. Nagen nampo, ebarampo make fool baran. Yeah, the podcaster. I'm sure you know Hero.
Yes.
Yeah, all out No, that's so.
Okay.
Yeah, he's who's the podcast? They're the junior. We have a junior section. They have their own podcast
okay.
on this channel.
Nice.
That's why Kibulela got the award the podcast. We are the only ones doing that.
Incredible job.
That's Gerald.
Hi, Gerald. Excuse me.
Okay, Lina langa ke khutjwa. Yeah.
Oh, hello, Kucho.
Arati Lina lela Gerald. Ki Lina la Home Affairs. So ale rate mo batho.
Oh.
So just tell me a little bit about yourself. Your name, because your name, where you grew up, and those kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name is Thato Kgobe,
Yeah.
and I am from Seshego. I was born in Ramatala, then raised in Seshego. That was in 1998. Yes, until
98?
today. Yes. No. In 1998, that's when we actually relocated to Seshego.
Okay. Thought you were born
I
in
grew up
98.
there. No,
Okay.
I can't tell you when I was born. I grew up there and started my preschool there in Seshego, Masiela Progressive. And then I went to my high school as well in Seshego, Millennium College. And then I also furthered my studies. I am a transgender woman and 2-3 years now on hormonal replacement treatment.
Okay.
That is a gender reassignment, gender reaffirmation treatment.
Okay.
Yes. And then I'm also an LGBTQIA plus activist, like you've mentioned. And I am a sister. I'm a colleague, and I am part of the community members, like each and every person.
Yeah.
And then what else?
Yeah.
There's quite a lot that I can
we're
mention.
going to talk about even those that you didn't mention now. We're going to talk about. And I just want you to relax. I'm going to just talk to you. We're going to have a conversation like normal people do. You know, as a podcast, they like controversial or hey. No. We're just going to have like a nice conversation because Rena aim your platform is to make people understand things they don't understand, things people are afraid of asking about, those things they affect the society. That's why we have you here. I think you're going to help a lot of people to understand, especially issues pertaining to LGBTQI plus. Yeah. So mpojemo kwa skolo nkwa. Primary all up to high school. Amongst your friends and stuff like that.
Okay. Nekele motorata go ralka le banyana. I'd always feel comfortable around girls' space compared to boys' space.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to associate myself with boys.
Okay.
I've never wanted to play with whatever toys that are belonging to boy
Yeah,
child.
boys, yeah.
I felt so uncomfortable. I had them, my parents would buy them for me, but I'd reject them.
Okay.
Rather go raloka diketo,
Khadi,
dikgati, lebenyana.
yeah.
I'd feel like I'm a girl
Yeah.
because I've always identified myself as a girl from the youngest age. From my preschool,
What?
I don't know. I felt uncomfortable. I feel like that's not where I belong.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and when they would sit on the toilet seat, I would also do
You
the
also
same
sit,
thing.
yeah.
Because I felt like I am part of this gender. I've always identified myself as a girl from primary till high school as well. And then high school, it started becoming worse because
Yeah.
that's actually where adolescent stage began.
Yeah, kika in
Exactly.
then.
Then I started knowing myself, and I had the confusion because a lot of people would say I'm gay, but I hated being called gay. I didn't want it to be identified as gay because I thought gay person is a man who's actually attracted to other men, and I never saw myself as a man. I've seen myself, identifying myself as a woman.
Yeah.
And someone saying gay to me was like a vulgar
Litlhapanyana
to
so.
me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tolerate that. I would cry my lungs out. I would become emotional. My day would be ruined for the rest of the day.
Because someone called you gay.
Called me gay. I didn't want that name to be called, and I didn't want anyone to associate me with that name because I didn't see myself as that person. You know, I've seen myself as a girl. I've always been identifying myself as a girl.
Yeah.
Go school, high school, you know, the queue go assembly.
Yeah.
I would be with girls. The very same
Assembly,
queue.
there'll be like boys, girls, boys,
Yes,
girls, boys.
and I'll
girls.
be with the girls.
Yeah.
And at least fortunate enough, I went to a school where I never succumbed to challenges and problems with educators where they had to fight with me because of my sexual identity. You know, I felt so uncomfortable and they made me feel so uncomfortable. I'd use females' bathrooms freely so. I'd go there like any other girl.
None of the teachers were
None
like,
of the
what are you
teachers
doing?
ever had a problem with what are you doing in girls' bathrooms because they just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, I had to succumb to gender dysphoria because I couldn't have much self-esteem and my self-confidence was not enough than my fellow peers because participate in extramural activities. I got confusion at that point. And I can't go and play netball with the girls because they would wear skates there and I would be afraid of wearing a skirt at that point, you know. Because of genital area.
Of course.
And I had so much gender dysphoria. What are people going to say? What if I'm judged there? What if I'm discriminated? Or there's just a way in which I faced a dysphoria within the expression of my sexuality during my adolescent stage.
Yeah.
So, but I passed by high school stage. Exactly, because I felt like I'm in a cage where I'm uncomfortable. There's no one who aligns as myself. I don't find anyone whom I can resonate with or we share the similar sentiments. I always felt like I'm unique, I'm different. There's no one I can see that at least this is another Thato. At least I know someone or I've heard people explaining to me that, you know, you look similar to this person. There was nothing as that or as such in my community. The only people that I was exposed to, these were just random gay people that came out as gay boys and we know them as gay people. Then the street names were drag queen because they would cause cross-dress. But at the end of the day, these are men. They're just men who are sexually attracted to other men. Now they just cause cross-dress and some people will confuse them with myself and say, and to me, I didn't want it that.
When I
because
was
exactly. I was not a boy. I never identified myself as a boy. I never saw and seen myself as a boy child. I've always identified myself as a girl.
Just a bit.
Okay.
You were born a boy.
Yes.
Right? And then being born a boy, you identify as a woman. You identify as a girl.
Yeah.
That's like the person you felt like you were at that time. So, education, apart from what this podcasting thing. Oh, shame. Even sorry for the inconvenience. We had to move electricity. It's disappointing, but then again, we continue. So I was about to ask. Okay. the challenges at school, how you grew up at school. You've also mentioned or you've never had like a challenge. I'm a teacher. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So I'm also in the education sector. So we get to see a lot of kids. This too. They were my learners. So like grade 8, grade 9, I feel like I don't know like lesbian and stuff like that. Asa kushishora na obele like I. To my surprise, ngonola out of my grade 11, u change ka monna o straight. Oba u change ka ngwanyana o straight. So ke nyaka o check from wena ronto mo hutole ka ba itlisha king mo baneng. That confusion to say I can just decide to be gay or I can just decide to be lesbian without understanding what goes into that. King e lo reng e ka be kore e gapeletsa bana to end up saying let's try this, let's try that.
Okay. Samathomo aune se se gapeletsa motho selo.
Yeah.
Ka sexual orientation or gender identity.
Yeah.
It's something that you are born with, you know. Motho o bela go a le ka mgo.
Yeah.
And then yena ka boyena ga gola o na le ka mgo a gona go kitšweletša ka gona. Sometimes it's not easy to express yourself.
Yeah.
Remember, because of you are brought up into different environments or different geographical areas, ne, including the household environment ka boyona e re go karolo e kgolo into our lives. You can feel that this is who you identify yourselves as, mara go ba le impact e tla mo phelong ba gago from the society. You know, remember there's some societal standard norms, there are also some societal gender roles and expectations, one understand. So go difficult for motho a kgone go kitseba le go kitšweletša. Sometimes yes, a person can be born gay or sometimes a person can be born lesbian. However, when they grow up, motho a kgotša a eba le challenge, peer pressure. The friends maybe they would say no, and then abale pressure or no, let me just certify what my friends are saying and excuse me, motho nyaka gore a belonge, abe included or into the mainstream, you know. Because a lot of confusion, especially as young people growing up, you know. O feletša o sa tsebe lwena ka bona o se ke humana, and go ke humana ga go nyaka a very much strong support structure, and that support structure is supposed to come from the family and the school as well, because it plays a huge role. Ke mo le gore ngwana o phela gona nako e ntši. So ke taba ya go se kwešiše, and then le go se tsebe gore go iso ke dire eng, ke behave jwang, ke tshware jwang, ke phele le bo mang a kere. So wa kgotsa ile gore maybe le ka gae the situation is very much unbearable. You'd find that the parents are pressurizing the child and they're doing what you call conversion therapy or conversion practice. That is a way in which most black parents would try as much as they can to change the child's behavior, because ba nyaka gore ngwana a be ka mokgwa bona ba tsebang ngwana a godiswa ka gona a bang ka gona. If they gave birth to a boy child, they have so much expectations of a boy child. Ba nagana gore okay, o tlo gola rutega a nyala mosadi wa bona, those kind of things. This is what most black parents have, and when the child disappoints them, they will have what we call conversion therapy. They'll try to convert the child to who they think this child should behave in a manner they assuming that this child should be raised as.
So do you have like siblings? Are
Yes.
you number one?
I'm the first one.
You're first born?
I have a little brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were born, how long?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. So when you are telling them, I don't think you had to tell them. I think they noticed. They saw that. But you know. Okay. So what did they do or what did they say? How did they start treating you? Or
growing up, I didn't have to explain myself. I often hear people saying that they have to come out of the closet. I didn't have that process. I felt that there's no need for me to come out of the closet because my parents, my family saw me from the youngest age. Azanga kanyaka anything that has to do with boys. Azanga kanyaka anything that it's boys clothing. I would feel uncomfortable in those things, and I didn't want to associate myself with anything that belongs to boy child. By bone, parents see and they know their children.
Yeah,
Sometimes they're just so ignorant about it.
So dikobo ba reka dikobo tse
Ne ba nrekela dikobo tsa bashemane, ke di rane, ke se di apara. And very nice clothes and very expensive.
Yeah.
Label, but I couldn't wear them. I'll just keep them hanging around until about the cousin Jaga or anyone because not exciting. I would rather put on my sister's something, gidre, whatever that can suit me well and feminize it in my own way. If you have a shimani, it's either neki feminize in a certain way. If it's just a normal jean, I'll make sure that I take that to the trailer and then that becomes a skinny jean. It tights me. And then if it's just a normal baggy shirt, I'll make sure that I style it the way I want so it can look feminine. I wouldn't want it to look like a boy because I didn't want it to, I didn't find myself as a boy.
Okay, it's fine. Could you have a hand? And then let me just I want to relax things a bit.
Okay.
Dating, when do you start?
In high school, I had a crush on this other boy, and he knows. At that time, I was still young, and you know, when you started feeling that you are sexually attracted to someone, it was still confusing for me because I never saw that being done openly and publicly. So, you know, it was still more like a taboo, and there was still a stigma attached to that. You know, when someone is dating someone of a similar sex, you know, and I wrote a love letter in class, and love letter I was doing my grade 8. I was doing my grade 8 and I wrote a love letter to him, and unfortunately then teacher she exposed me, that woman, because she had to read. But that guy was so chilled, man. He was reserved. He never had any problem.
So
and
at least kissing
no, that guy was just, I don't know, man. Oh yeah, God, no, he was heterosexual. He was just a cisgender guy, you know. But he never had a problem with me. We moved on like nothing happened. But still, when I was still in high school, I had another guy as well. And I was doing my grade 10. He was in grade 12. And this guy approached me. What's gonna happen, you know? And I've never been approached by a guy before, and this guy is older than me. He's doing matric. I was in grade 10 at that time. And this guy said, I want to kiss you. Okay, it's after hours, then it's 4, 5, 6. We leave around 7 from school. Exam. Then he grabbed me, we went outside, and he says, and then when we got there to the tap, he kissed me. And so I kissed him back. He kissed me back, and I kissed him as well. And I enjoyed that. That's when I felt something, you know, meaning...
So did that give you some sort of confirmation to say, I'm what I think I am?
It did. It did. So because I became sexually attracted to him. Just that I was still young. I wasn't sexually active at that time, you know. And it happened twice. The other time he came to my place, and then and then I had to follow him. Then we went to some corner elsewhere. Then we kissed again. It was a nice feeling. Then I came back home. Then I started having a phone when I was doing my grade 11, 12. Then we started talking, and then he left Polokwane to another province to further his studies. We kept on talking. I don't know what happened afterwards, but I think that was the only guy that I had that actually I opened me that, you know, it's possible.
Yeah, now I'm feeling confirmation.
Yeah,
don't worry about this. Let's do this.
Yes.
Okay. So, your from high school, you decide to go and study at. You went to TVET?
Yes, I went to TVET.
So you were doing things related to media and broadcasting?
I did marketing, and then from there I went to Joburg. I did a short course in journalism. Yes. Moving to a TVET college is because in my matric, and at that time I was having challenges with my family. And my family, what they wanted was that they want to rectify me. It was an issue on conventional therapy, what I've mentioned recently, because they felt like, they are disappointed. Now they give birth to a boy child, and now the boy child behaves like a woman, acts like a girl, wants what girls are doing, do what girls are doing, and they wanted to rectify that and change me. So it overwhelmed me. It actually destroyed my mental health, because I faced a lot of depression at that point. All I wanted was just to finish high school and then leave. I wanted to see myself outside home. I couldn't be accepted in some universities at that time, but I was like, you know what? Acceptance or no acceptance, I just have to go anywhere to study.
Somewhere,
be it at TVET, be it somewhere, as long as it's outside of Polokwane and I'm away from home. That's what I wanted. Then I went to TVET college, and then going to TVET college, I knew very well that I was not meant to be there. I never belonged there. I had to be there due to some unforeseen circumstances, because all I wanted was just to be away from home. At least I found some peace. I found myself. I got my own space. And then I got time to introspect and understand who I am, Then, kadula ko race. Then when I went to the race, I had to request staying at the females' race. Then it became an issue. But I was feeling uncomfortable. And then you are there. And then it became an issue. I fought about that.
You actually applied to stay at the female race?
Yes. Okay. And then I fought. Unfortunately, it couldn't happen. However, they gave me a chance to stay at the race, but with boys' race, and they gave me my own room. I had my own special room there. First time, no, was mad, man, because some guys would mock at me, and then at some point I would be discriminated against. I'd be called names. Until they started adjusting and adapting, because because we go there as different people, as different personalities, coming from different backgrounds. But when we are there, we have to be one, because the purpose there is to study, So it took time for them to understand and to adjust. But bathumile ba tlwaela yo batho ba man rate ba re tota rooming ya ka ba nlapisha ke sa nyake di visitors, they started becoming so comfortable around me. Le nna ka thoma ka ba comfortable ke khona tsa maya ka underwear passaging ke ya bathroom ke sa chabe motho. At first I couldn't do anything. Like make a shower. When I go to the shower, everyone is sleeping. And when I go outside to do something, at least so I can be comfortable. But as time goes by, for sure, 5-6 months, understand then I was comfortable like
no, the moment we start to get used to this is one of our own.
Yes.
Hey, Francisca, you look very interested.
No, I'm like,
What?
when you said I thought until I realized with no man.
Ask a question.
So Eric,
Okay.
I agree. Sometimes you get to have feelings for boys.
Yeah.
What makes us change the feeling from having feelings from girls to boys? We lose the interest. Total like it's such a at all. Then re back to boys.
Ke tlhago I get and but re re gola a re ke humane ka nako ya o tshwana ka nako e one. It's a journey, and then mo ileng journey ka gona, it's possible that's why you'd find now there are people that would call them after nines, and these people or maybe they discover themselves at a later stage. Moto all this time around, he was living a life thinking that because of the societal standards, norms, this is how a man should behave. You should have a girlfriend, you should have kids, and then you should be seen with girls so you can be treated and seen as a man. Now, when this person grows up and identify themselves and started knowing their features and understanding who they are, what they are actually sexually attracted to, privately so people cannot see and discover what they do. We understand that because now I man ke a gapeletša a se ntwe ke nyaka ebile a se ntwe ke enjoy ebile a se ntwe ke e ratang.
Yeah.
They had to go to guys who are the similar sex, and now they can't do it in public because ba tshaba eng, ba shetse ba tseba ba tlwaetse gore aowa ke motho le banyana, okay. But little did they know that this was just a frame. It was acting because they didn't want people to judge them. They wanted people to discriminate them within the society.
Yeah.
It's like that. Ya kgonega, and people don't have to confuse this. That's why at some point you find that there's a lesbian woman who might have had kids, you know, but the person is still lesbian, right? It can be in different ways. Maybe the person might have been raped, which is an unfortunate situation, or the person might have engaged in a sexual practice with a man. Due to certain reasons, it can be because of a transactional sex, or maybe it can be because of an incident where it happened that it's during social gathering, and things happened. Excuse me. But this person at a later stage, but the person has kids. Is this person not lesbian? No, the person is still lesbian. There's nothing wrong with that. The person is still lesbian. She's a woman. She has the similar features, the similar sexual organ as any other woman. Now, the only difference is that this person is sexually attracted to women. I get it.
Sorry to cut you off.
Okay.
Kinyaga yama after 9. You know, it's a very pressing matter, Kujo, this one. There's many men, Baba repela nabo.
Okay.
Repela lobona as men. During the day, we're with them. Braga. So I am thinking that you being open and being the woman you are, I'm thinking you would know how much of this thing yabu after 9, how much of it is happening. Because we know it's there, but we don't see it.
Yes, I get it. I don't usually like using the term after 9, but because it's a slang that we are used to identifying.
From today.
I could say even is what. I could say
after 9 because
but sometimes I see some people can do it during the day, mara in a space where they are not seen. Discretion too much. And I really people that are dating people of the similar sex, even on cisgender people, it can happen. Or what, you know, are we going to call you an after 9?
Yeah.
We're not going to call you an after 9. But why is it someone who's a man and then this man will sleep with other men where people are not visible or where they don't want visibility to be created, called after 9? Too much. Way too much. And this will shock you. It's people that you'd never thought that this is the same person who would want to be with someone of the same sex. And the very same people, number one, when they are gathering at a certain place and they see a gay guy passing by, they'll speak trash and they'll speak vulgar words and they'll call them names. Why? Because they don't want people to associate themselves with what they practice.
So if I got anything nice, it's like
not really. People don't have a problem with what they don't associate themselves with. Or but if you speak good of them or speak good of Buzalwane or Lemopostola, you're not against that. And you're not even promoting it, but you are trying to create an inclusivity because exactly. So same as other guys that would sleep with the same gender or the same sex. They would speak such things in front of people so that people cannot associate themselves with what they do privately or the indiscretion, where I understand. So others, they do it because of material gains. They want to benefit. There's this stigma going around in our townships, in our hood, that gay people have got money. I don't know where this is coming from.
Is that not true?
You know, no, it's not.
You guys have money.
It's not true. It's not true. I swear. It's never true. It's just a myth because okay, let me just give you an example of myself as a transgender woman. As young as I am, and in a place where I could walk and somebody doesn't know me, would say,
Yeah.
You know? That is the first thing I'll get. And then people would say, okay, Udula guy. And I still stay in my parents' house, you know? So we just like each and every person there's nothing different with us from other people. Just that when you have so much of self-care and you are self-aware of yourself, you prioritize for yourself, you compromise for yourself because you want to be included in the mainstream. You want people to acknowledge you. You want people to see you as a human being and be treated with so much equality. You want to fit in the society.
Yeah.
Now, by doing that is to have you before people. Where understand.
Question, yeah, not necessarily a question of, but people in that community, the LGBTQ plus community, most of them, you guys are always clean, you guys are always focused, and everything like that. Separating people in that community from heterosexual. I think you guys are more focused than most of us. That's why I don't know, assume you guys have a lot of money.
You know why? Because we have been judged so much, and there has been a lot of discrimination that we've encountered as human beings. So Roshiftantowe is a way of having a self-awareness. At least the society is when as motho ola wa dichilana, so nape o wele ke that stigma o palele go phela, self-esteem ya go ska ba boosted. So you try by all means at least to look the part, so that the next person, when you come across them, your dignity could be visible, you know, and your confidence could be boosted. Well, I understand even someone would say get transgender, but at least it will take you time to recognize, or it will even take you time to come and approach that very same transgender woman, because you don't even realize or actually notice some certain features that can tell you the story you are told. Well, understand? So it's about that. Back to what the after nines, what they will do is that they will go to some of our people, these are gay people or even transgender women, because they would assume that they have money, so they want to sleep with them so they can gain or benefit material gains, or you know, yadi biri, yadi zolo, whatever the case may be. Well, understand? And then number 3, some do it. Yeah, chelete, you know, they will do that. And it's a lot of them that will do that. Majority, I get. So again, number 3, babangwe, you'd find that people are saying some are doing it because of rituals, and you'd find that this person maybe might have went to a sangoma or a traditional healer, and they're told that you need to refrain yourself from sexual intercourse with women. And now this person, when they are hornier, what will they do? They'll have to opt for another alternative, which is to sleep with a man. And they end up being obliged to. One understand? Not deliberately that they are sexually attracted to men, but because of what they have to sustain during that period.
That's a new one. Oh, so maybe
or during this period, let's say 3 to 4 months, they must refrain themselves from having a pussy interaction. I'm sorry to mention this word.
No, don't worry. The right platform.
Okay, so it's
right platform.
So they should avoid themselves having that intercourse with a pussy for a certain duration, right? And what they will do is that they will have alternatives to what? To sleep with other men. You know? And some, they will do it because of the environment, study hostile environments. Hostile environments, this might be the school residential areas, because this is an environment where it cluster and categorize people according to their gender. If this is females' race, this is males' race, and they don't get much exposure to sexual activities with people of the opposite sex. Now, what they do there is they would practice sexual activities, not really an intercourse, but according to studies, the majority they do. You'd find that they will play with one another. They would sometimes wank each other as guys, and I've seen that because I've studied the male race. And then sometimes you'd find that they would watch porn together and they started kissing and touching each other, you know, but it's not really more the case of an intercourse.
It's not emotional. It's just
exactly. It's just a matter of
let's help each other release it.
Thank you, because there's no access to women, and we are caged in this environment where it's only us as men.
So the issue of, I think it's very important, the issue of protecting people in the LGBTQ community. Activism. I know you're one of the activists for people in the LGBTQ community, or protecting their rights and their sense of belonging in the community. So how does it start for you to say, since nna ke le mo ke leng gona, I want to start defending the people in the same situation as myself? O thomile neng, o thomisha keng?
Okay. Khalek Tomil.
Yeah.
It was in 2012. I was still in high school at that time, and I got introduced to this one lady called Cindy. Cindy was this lesbian woman, Mopolokwane, who was running the first LGBTQ plus organization. It was called Limpopo LLPO, Limpopo LLPO. And when I got introduced to her, the time I attended Limpopo Pride. That was my first time attending Limpopo Pride in Polokwane. It was held, I think, at a cricket club. Then I met him, and then I realized that a lot of us are actually going through a lot and the most. And there's a huge gap in terms of any inclusivity into the mainstream. You know, a lot of departments, a lot of institutions neglect LGBTQ plus people or LGBTQ plus persons. Now, what is it that we can do to make sure that we are included in this space? What is it that I personally can do to make sure that, you know what, we have to be included in this space and the mainstream has to accommodate us? There's nothing different with us from other people. Also, there's nothing about us without us. And then that's when I started becoming an activist, and whenever they have gatherings of pride, I'll be there, I'll be visible. And when they have engagements, meetings with various departments, I'll be there, I'll be visible. Number one issue that actually pushed me to be in the activism, it was because there was a gap in terms of inclusivity into the mainstream. Our people were not really included in the space. You know, you find a boy child or a girl child going to school, and this person wants to participate in a certain extramural activities designated for a specific sex or gender. Now they'll be deprived of that. You know, the issue on the school uniform guideline policy was not amended and could not include these children in schools. When Ola identifying as a lesbian person cannot be able to wear a pen, you know, because they'll be told that school uniforms are you know. That child is actually violate their human rights are actually violated now. You'd find one in school participate the thoughts of dropping out because they don't enjoy going to school. You cannot go to school with a school uniform that you don't feel comfortable with. Well, I understand that is one thing that touched me, and I've seen that, you know what, we have to intervene on these issues. And then number three, the issue healthcare accessibility. A lot of our people, they are unable to access healthcare services because you'd find sometimes whatever minor speed. But because of the stigma and the discrimination that is ongoing with people that do not understand LGBTQ plus persons, it's a problem. First thing, when you get at the gates and ID, then when you get there, the security officials would look at your ID and look at you, and these are very different people. And the IDs would stay male, will still say male, and you look like a woman. You know, with so much kindness. And then by the minute they see an ID or got exposed to an ID, it's a different story. Fraudulent. How could you fake a document and like medical attention? That is one thing that our people would be afraid of, going to clinics, going to healthcare services or healthcare institutions where I understand, and that increased a lot of infections towards our people, you know, because they'll practice unsafe sex, they'll get infected with HIV, they'll get sick with other STIs, and they'll be afraid to go and consult because of the stigma that is attached to them at healthcare facilities. And that person will never feel comfortable in that environment where people are not seeing them as people. You know, they're seeing them as labels. So do you think a person can feel comfortable there and access services? They won't.
You're actually bringing like question we are issue when you have to go to a hospital or sanju a clinicing or sanju a ID that's a challenge.
I face that a lot.
Medical attention.
I face that a lot.
It's very, very challenging.
Not only in medical, in healthcare services, but also in various departments. Anyway, look at the retailing. Let's say now you want to buy a car, or not even a car. Let's say on your account, go shop, and then when you get there, you have to provide you have to provide your ID, and then register about capture good system in Java. And then when they see you, the ID still says male. I've applied for my ID at Home Affairs. I think by January it must be out, because you know, then
So you
Ke nna
have,
motho-
you've applied for an ID now.
Yes, for the gender marker changes. My
What is
ID
it
is going to
going
change. The seventh and the eighth digit of your ID number. The first 6 digits. This is the year, the date of date you're born,
Year, month,
and the
date,
month.
yeah.
And the 7th digit determines if you're male or female.
Yeah.
So I get to give 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, give male or give female na, and then I get to 6, 7, 8, 9, I get to give female or give male na. Mara that 7th
So
digit.
our Department of Home Affairs
Yeah.
recognizes that.
Yes,
They actually
there's a
have-
law for that, which is a Sex
Okay.
Description Act, something alteration of Sex Description Act
Okay.
that has been amended
No,
by
look
the
it up.
Constitution.
Can you look it up? Check on.
Yeah, Sex Description Act amendment.
Yeah, after answering the phone, I want you
Yeah.
to read it just so that people
Yes,
can
it
know,
states
because
that it
the
actually
reason-
has been amended.
you know, the reason why I have you here, like I said, to shed a light. I want people to understand how these things operate, because but without a reason, because you know, like as African people, re gola ka re ga stigma. Uno gola batho ba bagolo ba bantsho ba ira wena ba re ntwa e diriwe ye ya ila ye ya diriwa kwa le kwa o ska kwa ya mo wa bona. So the reason why I'm talking to you today, ko gore I want people to understand dilo tša mohuta o wa e bona. At the same time le go cancela ba ba ileng gore ba e dira mara ba le confused, because like I said, me in the education sector, I get to see bana ba bantši ba loring they find themselves thinking ba mo khane ba mo motho o tlo phafoga ga fitla go grade 11 grade 12 a re le ke gamer, next thing you know attracted to female. So I want so
Mara-
the reason you're here,
Mara,
sex
on that,
description
Alteration of sex, description act.
it's your
I
mic
think-
on.
Yeah, Alteration of Sex Description Act. I think that's the one. It has been amended.
Alteration of sex description.
Alteration of Sex Description, yeah.
You have a question?
Act.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mara nna I wanna ask again.
Yeah.
So ge le re
Ask her, not me.
ke botša ganelo ke botša we
Botša nna.
again I wanna ask gore e le re we get confused and then ra change ka grade 11. Why don't you allow us re apare the way we want, like the way we think we are? Ke re ke re so ka mo gore nagana gore re ka gona le re dumelle re apare ka mo gore nyakang ka gona ene le ska re dumella fela gore le re amogele the way re leng ka gona le ska re le re bona la re bona ngwanyanola what up and ya re khupisha ya re dula man.
I know. Listen, for me, it's not a question of me personally. Not personally, as a person, I don't have issues with people being gay, lesbian, or identifying as whatever they identify as. Remember, at a school, you are at a professional institution that is governed by policy. You understand? And the policy is informed by a policy at a higher power. Rena skolong re implement a policy ya uniform, policy ya bullying, policy ya eng le eng. But at the end of the day, whatever policy that we implement has to be informed by what your parents want. And parents will never allow. At a school that exists in a community like this, a village, I don't think parents will allow for the school to say, boys can come and wear skirts, boys can come and dress like girls. You understand? So you would have to go through processes that will allow a school in a village to, you know, let girls dress like boys and boys dress like girls. So get struggle. Personally,
There
I don't
has
have
been
issues.
a policy on the school uniform guideline
Yeah.
by the Department of Education. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's still amended or it's running,
Yeah.
but I've seen with some certain schools around Gauteng, it has been implemented. So the problem is the environment at
The
and
environment
especially
aditshwane.
Gele Rana, or if the school is based in such a geographical area, which is the setup of a village,
Yeah.
and is also ruled by school governing body that
Exactly.
also comes with their own concepts and have their own beliefs,
Yeah.
ka gare ga that policy, you know, or have an impact within the policy as school.
Remember, and in the SGB, remember, Kara school governing body, you have ke batho ba bagolo, ba bangwe ba e le goreng ba tsena dikereke tša go fapa-fapana. Remember, batho ba bantši ba ba phelang mo lefatsheng la borena ba influencer ke kereke le ditumelo tše dingwe go nagana the way they think. A ke tse gore ntho ke bolelang wa kwišana.
Yes.
So you have an SGB member who is affiliated to the ZCC church, or you have an SGB member who is affiliated to Kereke Abazalwane, where they condemn such things. And if those people in the SGB, you are allowed at a high school, yeah, I don't know, maybe a roll 400 learners at that school. You're allowed to have like 7 parents in the SGB. Out of 7, 4 come as you. There's no way you're going to pass a policy like that. Now, personally, I would say there are young teachers, there are teachers, and there are old teachers. You know, this generational difference, Leon, are a contributor towards what we allow and what we don't allow at school. Me being young as I am, being a young teacher, I understand. You know, I don't have issues. I never had issues with her.
Mara, no. You know what's the problem? It's because grade 8. They were allowing Negitana out in Malvern High. They were allowing Gori reapparate the way we want. Not the way we want, Mara, the way Ulinka on. If you are gay, you are allowed to wear skirt.
My question is, Kimukai, that place compared to where we are. They can never operate the same because the environment is not the same. But right now we still believe in culture and tradition and those kind of things.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe
but
that's right.
At least nowadays, I feel like the event and gender switch,
you know, that's how we get to.
Yeah, at least.
That's when they get to express themselves.
Yes. And the young educators. But it's not to say the school will never allow.
Mara,
until maybe after 10, 15 years.
Mara, since Uruta Skolong, have you realized some of the lesbians they are wearing skirt, they feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know very well.
And you've realized she works in but the skirt,
I know, Marwa Perisket.
As if and she don't even feel comfortable.
It's self-confidence.
Yes.
And also the performance in class because concentration.
Yes. And I've realized that no udula starting like person she feel like yeah man I'm me Mara perisket wabona lwena wanyaka.
Let's just say the unfortunate part guy on ne the unfortunate part guy on ko gore re tla shalla re win re change ba bang ba ka see experience like this ones ba ring ba gatelwa at this stage, you know, if it's grade 12. Whatever changes that we're going to implement, they can over in action after 15 years, after 20 years. You understand? So it's processes that are going to take time to come to effect.
But also I think some educators they should be sensitized on issues related to LGBTQ plus learners.
Facilitate the mic,
They should be facilitated. No.
Sorry.
Facilitated. I'm sorry. I think some educators should be sensitized on issues related to LGBTQ plus learners, how to handle them and also how to treat them equally with other learners. Because number one, when a child is deprived from expressing themselves in a certain manner, it's the more their self-confidence is damaged and it's the more their mental health is also damaged. You know, their performance in class is also going to be destroyed. So chances are they might even drop out of school. Or their performance might even lack. Because the support structure is not there. So the school from guideline policy, even the Momarayan, since you introduce you, so that learners when going to school, by feel they belong to a learning institution. It's not done by many learners, and not all the learners are expressing themselves with different sexual diversity. You might find that it's only 2 or 3, within a school capacity that are identifying themselves as a different sexual orientation or a certain gender identity. As the whole school, they're like that. It's only like 3, 2. But let's allow them, you know, to express themselves and be who they are. Environment is difficult for bona, conducive for bona, because the more we oppress their human rights, it's the more we destroy them as young adults.
We'll need to be very, very careful, Gayona, because you know my worry is because recently I read I think a lot of problems regarding the LGBTQ community. A lot of those problems now are happening in the United States. So my thing is, with children, you would need to facilitate that thing very, very carefully, because only risky hour. Look, one at the age of 16, psychologically they go through a lot of confusion. One lost its o need feelings a need feelings wa ratana ha ratane a ka no ba le crush mo go sasa a isego e kwa mamang wa bo. So the risk gana mo e ba taba ya hore you allow children to express the way they do. Remember, not all of them will be born like you. They are born you knew from like an early age, or this is me, this is who I am. Baba, with the question of influence, peer pressure, the feeling of belonging. Imagine only one grade 8 una le dichomi tše 4 tše e leng gore nka moka ga tšona they are saying re gay or re lesbian. Wena o mo wa sure, but because of these people ke ba 4 ke dichomi tša, you might end up saying le nna re gay mo. If go na le di pills tša go change di hormone tša motho, you end up taking them. When you reach 16, when you reach 17, ke gona mo realizing gore eh hape mo a se monna ke le. That's why now I'm thinking the risk, especially when you are dealing with children. You allow them, it's risky. You don't allow them, they come and complain.
They've amended the unisex uniform.
Yeah.
You know, a pants like it accommodates everyone. As gay as they are, or as trans as they think they are, or they identify themselves as trans men or trans women, that child who identify themselves as lesbian, you know, they all belong together. They are all the same. Because there's unity. So they can all wear pants, you know, unless if maybe you just feel like wearing a skirt for that day as a girl, you know, but at least if a neutral, or you can wear it irrespective of you're a girl or you're a boy, or you identify yourself in anyhow or any sexual, you know, or you're part
I think
of
it's safe, you know,
it's the safest way, because it's unisex.
Because the moment you start to say it might create
in villages. It's going to be a problem.
So can I get my phone back? So let's move. Okay. This is the Alteration of Sex Description and Sex Status Act 2003, Act number 49 of 2003. So I'm just going to read it. Is a South African Act of Parliament which allows a person to change under certain conditions their sex recorded in the population registry. Okay. I think that's enough. Like I know on our next episode. But I think people knowing it exists,
it does
at least bring some sort of enlightenment. So let's go back to activism. Kinyaga check out through your organizations, activity dirangamo. What would you say are some of the changes that you have brought in those communities? Practice. Are there any, like, some stuff that we can say, point out and say, we have brought this, we have brought that, and we have, you know, made people to start thinking like this and like that?
The first change, I get, the sensitization that is done throughout Limpopo. You know, because we also, you know, work closely with various stakeholders that are also advocating for LGBTQ plus persons' rights. And by doing so, we target this bigger stakeholders of various, you know, these departments that have so much impact to LGBTQ plus people's lives, or most LGBT people's access services from them. Number one, the Department of Health. We often do sensitizations to them to have an understanding and have knowledge that is equipped regarding an understanding and knowing who LGBT persons are, you know, what are their demands, needs, and how to treat them and handle them when they access services at their institutions or facilities, you know. And the Department of Education as well. We did sensitizations with them, how to handle children that behave in a certain manner and actually identify themselves with various sexual diversities, might be sexual orientation or might be a sexual identity. Expression, we understand. So these are the changes that we've seen ongoing, and we've seen some institutions implementing an inclusivity into the mainstream. Various corporate environments in Limpopo, some have, you know, shifted away from the cultural or their standard uniform guideline where they'd say men should put on the specific attire and women should put on the specific attire. So in most cases, you find that some of the LGBT persons that are working in various corporate environments, they are expressing themselves freely according to the way they dress up. It's not short or
but
crop top.
they are allowed to.
You know, they allowed flexibility because they want inclusivity to be created. Like they perform the very same way each and every person performs. They do whatever's supposed to be done. They follow the SOPs and also make sure that their job description is implemented and actually run at the ground level. You know, these are the only changes that we see them ongoing. It's a process though. And then tomorrow but various departments that we've had sensitizations with, we've seen a lot of changes up to so far. And even in some schools, there has been an amendment on the school uniform guideline policy. The unisex, which is a pants, you know. A woman can wear skirt, a man can wear skirt. No, a man can wear a pants, yes, and a woman can wear a pants too. I want to identify, or okay, it's specifically or designated for a woman, or it's specifically or designated for a man. I get accommodate everyone. If that gay child at school, maybe we majita, feminize you know, if that lesbian girl goes kolonye gray, feel comfortable or but at least there's what comfortable as a human being, comfortable.
So the issue of at schools, the issue yadi, you know, lining them up.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's a wise move, or
No.
is that another one of the things that you feel like it should be? Allow these people to mix.
We did that with one school, I think it was 2 years back. Because it's segregated by and then ba feeling comfortable, you know. Exactly. So it can be better if ever maybe get great. You know, if there are many capacity, maybe
great. Mara even mix.
Yes.
Now school saga get great mara boys girls.
The problem starts there.
Because what we don't want at the same time. Now I support people expressing themselves. At the same time, I am more an advocate of safety. You understand?
Yeah, understand.
Imagine remote schooling. Ona le mushimane mu. Kamera mushimane ku ngwanyana. Kamera ngwanyana ku mushimane. You know how silly teenagers are.
Yeah.
Next thing wakamupilo wela marago wakakomra wela pele na pile, you know, ngwanyana la ba tukidi different. So but then we just have to be careful.
Yeah,
very, very careful. So on the issue of advocacy, I'm asking you a last question based on that.
Okay.
Motho elong gore o ba an advocate for that. They want to be an activist for gay people rights or rights of people in the LGBT community. What route can they take to go there, or what can they do on their own?
Samatomo, you are born with it. You are born a fighter. You're born a leader. You know, you don't just start today and feel like I want to start advocating and I want to start becoming a leader of the certain movement or the specific movement. You are born like that. That's what you're meant to do in the community, to change, to actually develop and groom people. You know, that's the first thing. It comes out naturally. So you are born with it. Being born with it, and then you nourish it, and then you make sure that you are capacitated enough. Training or workshop, whatever that has to do with LGBTQ plus persons, participate, go there, engage, network, and mingle, know people, get involved in various, you know, conversations, be it online or even in person if you're available.
Can you always tell if someone is gay?
Not really, because these days people
You
will
can
shock
say.
you. But what oh my God, this is because sometimes
Yeah.
there are people that don't really express themselves the way rena re naganang ka gona, because now as a society, re na le mentality all over a gay person looks more feminine and they'll dress up in a certain way, they'll walk in a certain way, and they'll talk in a certain way, they'll behave in a certain way, and they'll handle themselves in a certain way. Now today is an opposite. I could sit with a gay man as you are, and I could not know anything. And
No.
I'm just giving you an example. They are there, and they will shock
you say
you.
that again?
I could be sitting right now
Eh.
with someone like you, for an example. I'm just giving an example with you.
Okay.
Little did I know that actually this is a man who's sleeping with other men,
Yeah.
and this is a man who's actually identified themselves as gay,
Yeah.
but they don't
Was
have
born
those
because-
feminine characteristics. Because I cannot these characteristics of gay people, they should become feminine. They should behave in a certain way. They should talk in a certain way. They should handle themselves in a certain
Yeah.
way. Of which it's always an opposite these days. And sometimes but this person, you've never seen him with a girl. You've never heard of him with a girl story. Baby mama drama, baby mama story. But this person is
Yeah.
and little did you know that this person might be even having a boyfriend.
Till after 9.
Not an after 9, but they can express themselves. Okay, for an example, mara ke ntho ena a dirang re sa tsebe o ka se matjana ke o ka se bona o ka se kgone ho bona, because batho ba ke tjotse ka go tshwana ebile ba ke express ka go tshwana. Just like myself now, when I am transitioning, right, there are people that cannot know and cannot identify that I was actually born male. I was actually a boy before. You know, some people cannot know, and
They
some
don't
people
know
can,
these guys here.
don't tell them.
Okay.
Don't even bother. I don't really like, disclosing until there's a need to. You know, because there's so much of cautiousness and safety around that. You know, a lot of impact. So, easy. I get you'd find out this person is lesbian, mara. Look at the weavy, but the lady is lesbian. The lady is sexual attracted to other women. The lady strictly sleeps with women. Fela. I get then even other men, they are there. They could be masculine, have this broader voice, and everything about them is masculinity. But you find that this guy is actually sexually attracted to other men. They don't even sleep with women.
Yeah.
And ba no phela sharp le majita nke majita go no wa dikotho bana le bona dikotho la ba tsubishana le ba go tsubishana. They behave the very same way men behave according to our very own societal norms. But you can't tell and you can't know. Some people will say kidi straight acting or straight looking, these are just some slang words that are created by us as community members. But there's nothing wrong with them expressing themselves in a way, because the LGBTIQA plus letters and labels. Because when they think of a gay man, they'll think of this person is feminine, this person skinny and whatnot. But this is a man who is sexually attracted to other men. They can either become masculine or be feminine, and they can either way look in a certain way or they can look in a specific way.
It's more what they feel than what they look like.
Exactly. That is just the sexual attraction. It's got nothing to do with. They are similar to any other man. They function exactly the very same way as other men. It's just that they are not sexually attracted to women. They're sexually attracted to men. Same as lesbian. It's a woman who is sexually attracted to women. It doesn't mean no. It's a woman. It's just that abaki express it.
Okay. Hey man, you're watching The Council with me, Mpomek Fool, and I'm chilling with Thato Kgobe, an activist for the LGBTQI community. We're coming at you live from Ohorong Papen Grill, Ranamorachweni, Toraning. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that like and share, subscribe, and whatever. And we have an audience today. You guys want to say something?
Yeah,
Give Uncle a mic.
I will check it in passing because
All right.
What do you think about like gay men who act like divas? Like they act more feminine than women.
You're not exaggerate
Okay.
characters.
All right. Like the way I've explained, these people express themselves in a different way. There are such slang words like the diva or the drag queen or whatever names may be. And you'd find that these people, they don't even identify themselves as women. They are not transgender, but they are gay men. However, some of them can be trans, but they don't know and they don't have much knowledge about the transitioning process or the gender affirmation treatment. This person gets a gay person because of maybe where they grew up, how they have been brought up, and what they have been exposed to during their upbringing. I get so it will be easier for more knowledge about the journey that they can undergo. You find that this person sometimes, but I'm talking like marago or rabalekele duwat mo matsweleng, and if this person identify themselves as a woman, but because they don't have knowledge about the gender affirmation treatment, it becomes a problem. That's why people say get diva or get drag queen. You know, some they're actually trans women because a journey of transitioning it's a very long process, and if you don't have much knowledge about it. And the majority they don't know because we don't have accessibility to that, especially in our province. Myself, I transitioned in Joburg, and they career my treatment in Polokwane. You know, so ba prefer busesi ba nyaka go bushi ba nyaka go bitjwa baby girl.
But how do I know? I mean, like if I come across a person who's not under treatment, I can't tell. I mean, when I look at that person, I see a man, especially if they're sitting down before they start acting, whatever. When I see them in a taxi sitting down, I see a man. I'm going to say me bra, I'm going to say him, I'm going to say he. You understand? So, go the pronoun conversation. So I think it's wrong to feel offended before kabalela le motho.
The pronouns, it's an issue that we also dealing with even today,
but
because
awareness
with pronouns is an issue. I don't want to lie, because right now every time crop top, and then you will assume that person would prefer to be called he or him. You know, some people will identify themselves as an opposite sex and prefer she, her, female gender norms, but some would prefer male gender norms. I think the strategy is there's some things you can just see by yourself. Sometimes just approach the person and ask the person who prefer S what or address S what, then hear from them. Just like you here has mentioned, it's a confusion. It's confusing to them because some don't even know what they identify themselves as, because Azanga Baba exposed to an environment where sexual diversity is included into the mainstream, and they can have an understanding that I might have been born male, but I don't identify myself as male. I don't see myself as a boy. There's a certain journey that I can undergo to look like a woman, and the society see me as a woman, which is a gender affirmation treatment.
What they want.
Exactly. Because to affirm yourself, you're allowing yourself to be who the society thinks you should be. Like myself now, when I'm transitioning, my voice started changing. It becomes a little bit feminine. And then my skin also started changing. It becomes softer. And then my body also becomes feminine. And then my boobs also started growing, So everything looks the very exact way in which women are supposed to look in a society.
No one would ever confuse you for men.
Exactly, because in a certain mosadi o na le mmele o moso, o na le matswele, o bolela ka lentswe le so, o na le tlalo le so, o na le shape sa tlhago se so. And then if I want to affirm myself to be that person because I identify myself as an opposite sex, the gender affirmation treatment is the way to go. It's not an easy process because there's much scarcity of the process, I get. And it's also difficult to access such treatments in Limpopo.
How expensive is it, the treatment?
It's expensive.
So you need to be like
you need to have a financial support structure. It's expensive because it's demanding. Each and every now and then you pop up certain money to get the treatment, and then sometimes only chances your doctor get the dosages, meaning the money has to be increased, and you have to undergo the blood work each and every after 3 months, so that the doctor can see the process, and also if they should reduce your dosages or they should increase them, and sometimes you have to avoid a lot of other things and cut off some certain habits, which is also demanding. So
no, what you call? No, I'll ask it later. I'll ask it later. Linya, ka something more? The mic is there. Please keep the comments respectful. as much as you can, as respectful as you can.
Thank you. At least they've just told me already. Give a limit.
Yeah.
So what's happening is in South Africa there are still schools that are forcing you to cut hairs.
Yeah.
And then especially for girls.
Yeah.
My girl is going for high school now, so she needs to, and it's an instruction that she needs to cut hairs.
Yeah.
But remember, I'm on the other side that I need to support her.
Of course.
So now the support is less because she needs to do what she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
So that's where my confusion is.
Mm.
And it was an instruction from the principal
Yeah.
to say, no, in my school, this is what's going to happen.
Mm.
You cut your hair, and he even specifically said, chiscop or brush.
Yeah. I went to a school like that, actually. I went to a school like that. So some of these things, Nangari, like I said before, every school has its own policy. The policy of every school is informed by the SGB of the school. The SGB is the parents. If the parents of that school, if it's a private school, the board of directors, which is parents as well. If the parents have agreed to that, it means whoever that comes to that school has to abide. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do but to take our children to schools that allow for hair to grow.
But if you look down on the Bella bill,
Yeah.
We as parents who doesn't want to confuse the kids, we are covered.
The Bella Bill actually takes away your rights.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. You guys want to say anything else? Let's move. Let me come back to you. You're enjoying the show? Okay, let's go back now. I'm moving to this thing here, activism.
Okay.
What are some of the societal misconceptions that you guys in this community come across? Actually, let's start by defining LGBTQI++. What does that thing stand for? What does it mean?
Okay. It's an umbrella term,
Yeah.
akere. And then that term, it means a lot.
Yeah.
So I will unpack it now because this is LGBTIQ and then there's a plus at the end. So in L, there's a lesbian. It means this is a lesbian woman. Is a woman who is sexually attracted to other women. Irrespective of how they identify, irrespective of how they express themselves, or irrespective of how they look like, or what they dress, or how they dress, the manner in which they handle themselves. But at the end of the day, this is a woman, was born a woman, has female gender norms, which is a vagina. It functions the very same way as any other woman out there. There is no difference. When a woman goes on periods, they also undergo through the same journey. But at the end of the day, they are sexually attracted to other women. They don't want dick.
Yeah.
And this is G, which is gay. This is a man who is sexually attracted to other men.
Men. Yeah.
They might express themselves in however way or in whatever way, but this is a man who has a similar genital area, which is a penis, as each and every or any other man. It functions exactly the very same way other men's penises do function.
Yeah.
I get it. So the only difference is that they are sexually attracted to other men, which is similar sex. Some choose to express themselves in a certain way, and some choose not to express themselves in a certain way. And we have the B, which is the bisexual.
Yeah.
Some people say bio. It's not bio.
Bi.
Because now bio is like we're
Bio
going
is
to back to
something else.
biology.
Yeah.
It's bi, B-I, which is bisexual, meaning this person is sexually attracted to either male or female. It can be a man or it can be a woman. But this person can sometimes be attracted to other men or can sometimes be attracted to women.
Yeah.
It happens. You'd find that sometimes muto unelimsadi and they've been together for years. But now the person started developing feelings for other men. Are we going to say that person is gay?
Kill after 9.
No, we need to cancel this woman after 9. Maybe I'm taking like a sake discover roba sake to at a later stage. Remember, it can happen at any time, irrespective or you're in a teenagehood or you're in a youth or adulthood or umdala man or sister. It can happen.
Yeah.
It's possible. So there is a bisexual. There's a person who can either be sexually attracted to men or women. And then we've got the T, which is transgender.
Yeah.
it's way too diverse and it's broad because in a lady category which is transgender men and transgender women. Transgender men, it's someone who was born who was born a woman and assigned at birth with female gender norms, which is a vagina. Now, when this person grows up, they realize that what the vagina says, this is who they are, it's not who they are. Because what it says on the genital area doesn't necessarily mean that this is your sex description and this is who you identify yourself as. That is a sexual organ. It has got nothing to do with who you identify yourself as. Now, you find this person identify themselves as a man. It's possible. That is a transgender man. And a transgender woman, it's like me. I was born a boy. And being born a boy with a penis, of course, then identify myself as a woman. Then this is a transgender woman. That is the T in LGBT. And then an I is an intersex. An intersex is a person who might have been born at birth or assigned at birth with either genital areas that are not formed, or one genital area might have been hidden or might not have been structured in a proper way. Maybe and the other one might be visible and the other one might not be visible, and this person is an intersex. Now, what happens with the process of this person to align, because I get a date of birth certificate when the child is born, and birth certificate in identify the sex description, which has to state either the child is male or the child is female. And when the child is male, they identify that through what? A penis. And when the child is female, they identify through what? A vagina. Now, one somewhere somehow on a information confusion to medical healthcare practitioners. They don't even know how to identify or how to identify this child or this baby. Then a process gender mutilation process. The gender mutilation process where they actually have to cut down one and remain the child with one. The mistake they do is they do that while the child was actually born. Visible, that is a gender mutilation process. Excuse me, they do it at birth. Thank you. Let's say, for an example, bakata yabasad. No, bakata banna batola basad. Bakatila banna batola basad. So ngwana ke ragola, a ka batlo ga basadi bakatila banna. Ngwana ke ragola amele matswele o thoma ba di gara tsa di masculine tsa machita, voice ya thoma ba broader and masculine, o thoma tsa ditedu. And then body ya gagwe e thoma go ba masculine. Mara ba tlogetse e fiela ya basadi when the baby was born at birth. Because they had a concern with the parents. Mama le papa and the child is actually an intersex. That's why it's advised today that the process should be done at a later stage when decide this is the one that can be kept and this is the one that should be removed.
So they would function at the same time?
No way.
If you allow them to, if you allow yourself to grow.
No, they usually don't allow it because that is why a gender mutilation process is done in hospitals. The medical health practitioner introduced that process because I can identify from birth, birth certificate, it's either male or female. And if it's male, this is a penis. If it's female, this is a vagina. I get it. So there's no way they're going to say male, female on a birth certificate of this child. So by decide, and then by concern about and then they will decide at some point but more visible. But it functioning and then sometimes I do it together. Sometimes that's what they cut and they do a mutilation process on. Then the child grows. Yes. The child becomes masculine, the child have a broader voice, the child doesn't grow boobs, the child's body doesn't become feminine, but then they left the pussy on the child's body. So the child's an intersex. When I heard such stories back then, someone told me because never
African stories
some myths, I don't know, I wasn't yet born when the stories were narrated.
It's reality. In Africa as a whole, as a continent, even today, still go to some countries that they forbid being gay. If you go to
Uganda.
Uganda, specifically Uganda. If you go to Uganda and you dare to say I'm gay or lesbian, you are dead. Without question.
And about South Africa, but
You
like
see.
express like South Africa.
Exactly, because South Africa, we allow, it's a rainbow nation. Why do you guys pick a rainbow as
Rainbow expresses happiness.
Yeah.
Whenever you see a rainbow at the sky, you'd be happy.
Re a thakgala ke molala
You know,
wow.
that is a joy. That is something beautiful coming. I get all where they drang, yeah, change how where they come home.
Yeah.
So each and every color there has a certain way of an expression towards the LGBTQ plus person. I forgot what they mean, but I know there's purple, there's yellow, there's green, there's red, and innerly a meaning. So a way in which it was called rainbow, it was to create an inclusivity into the mainstream.
Okay.
These are different people with different personalities and different characteristics.
Yeah.
However, they are more of the same as each and every person within our communities or our societies. And they should be treated with so much equality than the rainbow that has to identify LGBTQIA plus persons.
Okay. So, let's get into it. Cure. Cure or
It's queer.
queer.
Yeah.
What is
My
that
glass
thing?
is empty and it's a water.
What is that? Hey, bartender. Queer,
Eh.
queer. Because now I used to say, actually, we're having a conversation, guy, on our previous episode.
Yeah.
The previous episode, before Cappuccino. Yeah. We actually spoke about it a bit. Now my understanding of queer was, besides gay, besides lesbian, besides transgender, there's people who identify as other things. For me, those people fall under queer. I don't know if I'm correct to say that. We're not correct. Imina this queer.
Okay. Queer is an umbrella term that actually means people that don't identify themselves as either L, G, B, or T. They are queer. I'm queer as well.
Okay.
You know, so it's someone who actually doesn't want to.
I'm not gay,
let's say
I'm not lesbian.
Yes, let's say I don't want to disclose that I'm transgender.
Yeah.
You know, I'm queer.
Okay.
So it's an umbrella term that actually carries all these four terms within an LGBT. One understand?
Yeah.
So there are others that are actually gender non-conforming and gender non-binary. So
What is that?
there's people that are gender non-conforming, and there are also people that are actually gender
What does
non-binary.
it mean for a physical person? If I'm saying I'm gender non-conforming or gender...
It's maybe can be you, for example, if you don't prefer yourself being identified as male or either female.
Come on,
I'm supposed to give you an example with you. No.
What do you see here,
Oh, I said Tata. Okay, let me just give you an example with me then. It can be
it's
me.
Okay, it's okay.
I get
it's
as
fine.
Tata.
Example
So,
again,
for
it's
example,
okay.
someone can say, because I'm talking to you, I'm sorry. So, yeah, because sometimes, no.
Angela,
don't
I'm a
take it
man.
that way.
No. It's cool, you're not man.
It's fine. For example, again, like you're talking to me.
Fine.
What does, like, if you're saying I'm gender non-conforming,
You
gender
do not conform to
non-binary,
any gender norms. or
even
any
if
com-
when you look at me,
Whatever-
see a man,
No.
it's not physical.
You think no. You'd want people to identify you to use pronouns
Yeah.
that are not
Jedisa willing ka banne wa ka
identifying
basadi.
as either men or women. I get.
So call
These
me
people say,
them.
call me they them.
Yeah.
There are such people who would say they want to be called they them.
Yeah.
You know, it's very much broad and diverse.
Yeah.
And each and every single day I find new terms, and each and every single day, even myself, I get to learn and see different, terms within the LGBTQ plus people.
They keep
persons.
increasing. Plus.
So yeah, these are the plus.
What are some of the plus jela jidin chichi? Kidi feature linja ko confuse wa roe ko ra ke trans mara ye yona ye.
Honestly speaking, the plus that confused me, it's the gender non-conforming and the gender non-binary.
Yeah.
Because now, in as much as Ranyako Robeli inclusivity into the mainstream, and we want to be included just like any other person. And now when we come to the societies with our very own standards, and we feel that we want to be treated special, and we want ourselves to be seen different. That is the impression that we're giving people out there, because how would you go to people and say, I want to be treated as you want to be treated? But the next thing you come up with a certain agenda that people might even take time for them to adjust and even adapt to that. Where I understand that. So that is the plus that actually confused me back in the years. But now when someone says, I know they them, we will do it just to respect what this person's identity says.
Oh, you're not confusing.
Yeah.
Like if I look at Kujo and I see a man and he's like, no, bruh.
I go, they them.
That's very, very confusing. So what are some of the misconceptions Jelly the experience on Modi community? I'm sure from your community personally, you have seen some Kaboena and the people that you live around who are within the same community, they've been with you and they've shared those experiences. Misconceptions that when people look at you, they think this, can't you know it's the other way?
The misconception number one is whatever we've mentioned about recently, earlier on, regarding the issue on, let's say, these are myths that gay people have money. And now when everyone see gay people, we think money and we see them as money, which is wrong. And it's a very wrong mentality because...
Can I try something practical? Not with you.
Okay.
With the guys here. Please give the guy a mic. that guy in yellow. Give that guy in yellow. Is the mic on? Kid dog, Tiger, Mulot.
Yes.
Do you think the gay in Chalet?
Some of.
Not most of them. But when I gay, do you not think automatically I'm a Chalet?
Yes. That's like yes.
If you are like
Yeah.
okay, that's if I get if I get el bona gay automatically na normani Chalet.
There is a lot kids are Joburg and Rustenburg. When you see a gay, you see money.
Yeah.
There is no secret. There is no secret within
Yeah.
that. When you see a gay, you see money.
You see, man.
Yeah. And even the cars that they're driving, where they're staying, you can see. I'm having a lot of friends that are gays.
What is
Have
it
a lot.
about them that says they have money?
I don't know where do they get the money, because even some of them, they are, I think it's a mental thing. I think it's a mental thing that they can budget. But because, why am I saying that? Even there is one called Molotonesh. He's from Limpopo somewhere, but he stay in Pretoria. He is only a double story. He invited me there.
Yeah.
Swimming pools, everything.
Lenalai.
Yeah, I was there. I was there on the party. I was there. I witnessed every little thing.
Oh, little baby fell.
No, we're not two. There were guys around.
Oh, there were other guys there.
Beautiful girls around, and but
Oh,
they were
yeah.
lesbians. Yeah.
All right. No, just
I
wanted
was
to check. Just wanted to check. All right. Okay.
Oh, he's white. He's asking,
Oh.
why did they invite me?
Oh.
No, I was his senior in the in work environment.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was the environment. I was the
Okay. Misconception number one, ki Chalet. Yengwe.
Misconception number two, it's that bakitira or bakimadimon.
Oh. Oh.
So some people would think that, and there is nothing as that. Why are we not saying or an uncircumcised guy kimadimon? Did they ever choose not to be circumcised, or they ever choose to become circumcised? Why are we saying a girl who terminated pregnancy and did an abortion, or this person is actually undergoing through a certain process, categorized as a misconception in our societies? They had to undergo certain treatment and certain procedure, and termination of pregnancies,
Yeah.
but we still include them in the community. I get it. Then why are we have to segregate these persons that are different from what we think or what we thought our kids should be raised or should be seen as? Because we become so much disappointed as people, especially as Black people, that you know what, a boy child should grow up, have kids, marry a woman, have a house and so forth. So when it's an opposite, a different story altogether, you know, that is another misconception that we face at some point. And then another misconception is that gay people cannot have kids, lesbian people cannot have kids, which is a wrong mentality. Like I've explained when I unpacked LGBTQI+, a lesbian is a woman who is function in the very same way as any other girl or any other woman. They have a pussy
Yeah.
and they have the system that is similar to any other woman out there internally.
Yeah.
Right? They can feel pregnant. And if they want to have kids naturally, they can do it. But that doesn't mean that they're no longer lesbian or they're not going to be lesbian again after giving birth. You know, same as a gay man. They can still have kids. You know, they can impregnate a woman, and if they want to do it naturally, they can also do it naturally. You know, they are just men who are sexually attracted to other men. So the misconception is that they cannot have kids, which is a wrong mentality. Ne? And the other misconception is barata jwala.
Yeah.
Le
groovies
monate.
to batho bao, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
get groovies.
Yeah.
You know, that is a misconception number 4, because a lot of them would a lot of people associate themselves as the groovies, as batho monate. And what I've observed is that LGBTI people, they usually find closure and find a therapeutic session where they're actually in a social environment which creates a safe space for them. You know, being isolated and keeping themselves away from their people or a place where they cannot align with people that they share similar sentiments with, they tend not to feel safe and comfortable. But they go to an environment where social life is embraced and they come across people that they share similar sentiments with. They become open because the place and the space is so much safe for them. That is why they'll be associated as the groovy, so barata jwala, barata monate, you know.
Just people who like to socialize.
It's therapeutic, because these people, remember, we have been oppressed way too much, and our human rights have been violated way too much. Now, how do we heal from that process? The only healing time and the only healing process is to be in a gathering where there are people that you share similar sentiments with. The communication there, the conversations there, one understand that creates a therapeutic session in our minds. One understand. I can't do it every day. It happens at that time and at that point. So there is another misconception that societies have towards LGBTQ plus persons. And then there's another one, which is you know, it's there, it's existing.
I don't think that one is I think there's a little bit of that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because from where I'm sitting now, I know every gay guy that I've come across at school was either top of the class or number 2.
It happens.
I swear.
know. You know why? We're just intellectually gifted, and it's something
That's why
that
you
you're
have
born
money.
with,
That's
I
why you
guess.
guys.
No, yeah, man, you're not in change.
That's why you guys have money,
Yeah, man,
because-
in change because it's not even there.
Yeah.
We are fighting just like any other person. We are hustling just like
So,
any
but
other person.
does it exist? Does it exist, or the gay guys, those that actually do have money, does it exist, or agarobala le motho amopatela? Does that happen?
It also happens to people that are cisgender.
You know it personally. You've experienced it.
No.
You're-
Yeah, Karen.
Okay.
Okay.
Give him a mic. Sorry.
It's fine.
Give him a mic. Batamela. No, don't worry. Batamela. I'm saying if you've seen someone that has been paid to sleep with a gay guy. Ona gay ya patela out here. Ya mfeti itla gibetha wena ba betan.
Yes.
Dichomi tjao.
Chumitaka, yes. But I can't
Mention the names, yeah.
his name.
Ke ba gana mogae.
Yes.
O phela le
Same
bona.
area, yeah.
O phela nabo so.
There are 2.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Ba o phela ngwe gaufi le bona.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of life.
Let me tell you something. Let me answer this.
Motho wa ba patetsing kwa mo. Okay, sorry.
Something we mention, I know.
Sure.
What I've observed
Yeah.
is because a lot of gay guys would like they have pressure to get into relationships or have sexual intercourse with men, because
Yeah.
you find that majority are very easily approached by men.
Yeah.
You know, and you find that a lot of men don't have the guts and the confidence to go and approach them in public or go by firia, you know, in a public space, or even, you know, engage with them about sexual activities. Now, it will happen that they will come to a push where they will have to sleep with them and buy them.
Yeah.
Because that is the only way they can satisfy themselves sexually. Because it will be easy for men out there to go and approach another man.
Yeah.
It's especially in our communities like this, it's
Yeah.
difficult,
Yeah.
right? So they'd find out at least or something because they slept with them. That is in most cases where it happens, or men will sleep with gay because of material gains.
Yeah.
They will do that. Yes, I've seen that with some of my friends, some of my people.
Reasons
you know?
are valid. Reasons behind that are valid.
Exactly, because it's not easily for them to be, you know, it's unlike myself as a transgender woman. Any man can approach me at any time,
Didn't it?
you know. So it can happen that maybe, for example, the person does not even know or cannot even identify them actually trans until I have to disclose myself, you know. But I'm more likely to be approached by men in many ways, and I have been, even today. I'm still, although I'm in a relationship.
That's true.
You know,
When you walked in here, someone said something.
it's fine. I know.
Go
We have
Shupe
to-
Jen.
I'm used to that. Don't worry. Guys, I'm used to that. I know.
Sure, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's just that I'm in a relationship now. So, just for
Oh,
example,
in a
with
relationship.
yeah.
I'm confirming.
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and very much open in public.
Oh, yeah.
So what the brother has just mentioned is because ba feel gore aba firiwi, and then bana ba bantšha ba kgona ba appreciate aba kgona go ba le bona in public.
Yeah.
Now the only way ba kgona gore ba le bana is because ntse ba fa something gore ba kgona dirang ba ke khotsofatsa bona ka bo bona.
I see.
I get it. Again, number two, some men will just do that deliberately, knowing very well that these people are desperate.
Yeah.
They're gonna give me. They will give
So,
us
by
something.
go kurunu ayo
We are to ba go rotla like you to be a gay you direng ya fitlhakua, but they don't want to be seen. That's the problem. They'll do it
So,
privately.
Eriki no dira the scale broad. South Africa as a whole, ne? I would say South Africa is a more cultural country. We are more based on, we are more focused on being African, culturalism and stuff like that, because majority of us are black and Rhodishige. You know, we grew up in villages.
Yeah.
So the question I want to come with here, Kore, do you ever think we'll reach a point where South Africa's culture and tradition is relaxed enough to can accept that more pelangona, repela le batho ba e leng goreng they are lesbians, they are gay, they are queer and all those kind of things? Do you see the possibility of that coming to?
Already because when you go back to our constitution of the country, the acts that are there have been amended in a way in which inclusivity is created for LGBTQ plus persons. We're speaking about equality there. We're speaking about human dignity there. We're speaking about right to life there. You know, all these rights that are mentioned in the constitution of our country, they cater and they cover for LGBTQ plus persons, right? I've got the right to life. I've got the right to live, and no one should oppress me from living. And no anyone who will have to stand against my life, that is a human rights violation, because you want to be against my life and you want to be against me living. Kill me then, you know. So why would I be oppressed from what I'm supposed to do and what the constitution says I'm supposed to be within my country? It's a democratic country. Again, with tribal authorities, I know certain organizations, one I'm part of, that have been doing engagements that are called human rights, the campaigns on Know Your Rights and the sensitizations with various tribal authorities, going to villages and tribal authority leaders, policymakers, and going to educate them about LGBTQ plus persons and having an understanding of who these people are, what these people need, how they should be treated, right? So even in future, they know that if a transgender woman walks in a funeral service at a certain household in the village, they are more than free to put on a female skirt or female dress with toque and do whatever women are doing. You know?
So do you not think, I'm sure you're aware of like the African traditional setting.
Yeah.
Do you not think that allowing for such things to happen, like for instance, if Just to name one. Area funeralling. Someone would stand at the gate and say, "Banna batsana ka mo ba tlhobola dikefa." Right? Obviously, ka diraping re ka se expect to bona monna ka re ga sketha tsana ka dirapi bila ape rutukwana. So just to mention that one, do you not think to allow people in the LGBTQ community to exist in totality and inequality and do everything like that at some stage would lead to loss of African tradition?
I'm one person who actually respects our traditional values and our cultural aspects.
Yeah.
Name. I feel like sometimes our people give an create an immorality into the societies, you know, because you'd see that this is a gay man, and the very same gay man would first going into a funeral, you know. It's an opposite when myself as a transgender woman can go to a funeral, because I'm a woman.
We can't even tell.
Exactly. You know, so because some of them, I'm sorry to mention this, they don't want to be included so much into the mainstream, even if you know what this is going to be happening. It's against our cultural aspects, you know very well. Re pala go compromise for that one day. You know, motho wa tseba ba mo fonetse mmereko ba re tla interview, but this person is a gay person. A ga potso ra interview dirile mohoko o mo pinky, a pere hempe ye green and yellow ye di color, a pere, you know, borgo ba bo jwanjwang, and this person is going to a corporate interview for that matter. You know, forgetting
Where
the
that might
purpose.
put them
Exactly.
on the
They forgot the professionalism look and the way in which these people are going to handle them when they get to work, selling themselves. Forgetting that you cannot be deprived from, you know, trying to compromise for that 6 hours or 7 hours a funeral service for that time. Even some lesbian women, I can not get push or skate for that time. I funeral for nakonyana ya newe then o tla re ga fetsa ba bya dipolokong a gona para bro go aba sharp. It's unlike ourselves, myself as trans, you know, that is when I can be able, because, you know, identify myself as a woman. And exactly, so and again, I feel like
so what we're saying
culture
is,
even in future and moving forward. Culture, if it was it means culture is because we maintain the way in which our standards of traditional beliefs from back then with our great grandparents, you know, because had it been about the process of following and understanding and capturing that concept of culture that was maintained back then, even today, we were going to go far, but either way, we failed a long time ago. How many aspects now in our society still Lord because of culture was not followed? We had a lot of girls that became pregnant at a very young age. Teenage pregnancy was introduced, and we've seen that today. It wasn't there back then. It wasn't too much. Where was culture involved? Has the elders been able to sit down these young girl children and sit them down or no? There was never that kind of conversations. You know, a boy child, exactly. A boy child was never groomed in a way in which conversations of manhood were rooted into them. They started knowing things from the streets. And knowing things from the streets even in an opposite way. Because they were never brought up into manhood where they should actually be groomed and follow the traditional aspects, as you say. So there's no way the only thing that we can do is just to amend. We amend here, and then we amend there, and then we amend here.
Hero, did you get my question? I was saying, I was asking if she doesn't think the LGBTQ to exist in full. Community, wouldn't that at the end of the day lead to the loss of African tradition and culture?
I haven't really thought about it much, ne?
Yeah.
But I think it will dilute it. We will lose it, ne? Because the introduction of anything in our African beliefs, usually cause a chaos.
Yeah.
Either cause chaos or it will cause our but relax it too much.
Ke nnete.
And the more we relax, obviously means we're accepting things that are foreign to us.
Yeah.
Hence now you see a lot of people. Is it a trend now that people are coming out, or they've always been like that?
Or
Also,
now the situation is relaxing and
get-
allowing.
you get so
Yeah.
ke yona ntho ene ke bolelang gore the relaxation ya gona, it's actually diluting the African beliefs tja rena and cultures and you know.
Wow. Someone once asked me that question. Ke feel gore because remember we're living in this democratic South Africa, and this freedom, there's so much freedom now. I get that is why you as a man can thank you. That is why you as a man can have certain things and do certain things that men back then couldn't do. So the coming out, most LGBTQ plus persons now, the way in which they are so much vast at this point is because there's much knowledge and our institutions are way much capacitated on various aspects of LGBTQ plus persons, and we've adapted and we've adjusted to certain lifestyles of LGBTQ plus people. It's no longer something new to us as people. So a lot of people, they openly do it because they know that it's there, it's existing. They've seen people doing it, and they've seen someone whom they want to look as them, and they see them as a role model, living this life freely, so without oppression and without destruction. And it gives them so much hope and the self-esteem that I can also express myself. If it's possible with Thato, I can also undergo the hormonal replacement therapy and transition, because these are people that are visible in our societies, that we can see them and we know of them. So iba easier these days compared to what I've heard of the stories back then, or but and then you could find ever since your whole life, but this person has been doing this privately, and it's possible that they may have been sleeping with men privately, but they were unable to express themselves because of the stigma, the discrimination that was attached at that point. Still, we're undergoing through the stigma and the discrimination even today.
So they could have been
some of them, I'm not saying some of them. Baba, some. It's possible. It's a whole. I told me today. It's a whole, and majority and you can't even think of anything about them. If I could tell my history of the guys that I've been with my whole life before I settle, you'd be shocked. Because these are people that you'd never thought that this person would ever date someone with the same sex. Prominent people, celebrities. I had one who's in politics, and these are people that you'll never, I won't never mention names and I'll say anything. But
no, are they Kamo province?
Yeah.
Department?
No, I can't tell you anything. I'm not going to say anything. It's the past. It happened. And then but coming to think that, you know what, I've once have been with this person, and this person is a certain wherever at this specific institution or this specific department.
So get about curious or like curious in terms of like I kind of curious to say, what does that thing feel like?
But like it is a target.
A lot of people are saying that.
Because we have a norm that easy target. Easy target. But like it easy target. They easily.
Kujo, what do you think?
They are the easiest targets ever. I swear.
So
men are the most easiest targets because they easily get turned on. Again, number two, they could do anything just to release. And number three, they are easily hooked up. That is why at some point they'll sleep with gay men because they know that they're going to benefit money or material gains from them. Not because they love them or not because they are sexually attracted to them, but because they want to satisfy their sexual desires. They will do it. Men are easy targets like nobody's business.
Nothing can stand in his way.
Thank you. And this is
Not
a lot
all
of
of
men, majority, and this is a lot of men, they are avoiding relationships with girls. Why? Because what it says girls are demanding and girls 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, what if she fell pregnant? I won't be able to take care of the baby.
Yes.
And her family would want me to marry her because I've been with her for the longest time. You know, they engage in relationships with gay people, they engage in relationships with transgender people. So that's what I've observed recently. You know.
So what do you think fuels all these misconceptions that we're talking about? Ka mahlakoreng ka moka, ke eng e fuelang megopolo e mešele ka megopolong ya batho about people in the LGBTQ community? What ke dilo mang tše di reng go batho di re we should think this a certain way about them? Like for instance, if ke approach ke gay, ke feel compelled or I have to tell my friends, I have to bana gay e nngwe ya sentlolele wa toropo, you know. So like ke dilo tše di fe tše e leng goreng you would say the influencer those kind of thoughts or those kind of misconceptions?
Ke mentality wa rena as batho in the society. Re excuse me. Yeah. Le peer pressure.
Yeah.
And then lo go nagana gore because if you are seen with a certain gay person, for an example, it means you are gay.
Yeah.
You know, such misconceptions.
Like I can't befriend a gay because
You
if I
can't be friends with a gay person now because now people will think that you're gay
till
too.
after 9.
And long now, or maybe it might even sitting having prominent conversations, you know, or trying to build something concrete. I get apart from the relationship, from exactly. So you can do associated with people that are LGBTI persons. Wang understand?
Like the gays, or like if you have a gay friend, do you not think those guys were naughty?
Women. I've got friends that are
turned on
guys.
easy. You said that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
If
and
you know men get turned on easy. What's to stop you from motagolo tagilo mtacha?
Gana mo wa tsere ke nyaka goreng ke re a ke re lena le re the easy target. Is that the reason why le ba persistent? Like if a gay guy akafasa a straight man and then a straight man agana, they keeps
coming.
You get
Is it?
yeah, they do that.
Amen. They keep coming.
Keep coming how? Keep coming how?
That's a bar.
No.
She keep coming how?
Guys, this guy is underscore.
I missed something here. They keep coming how?
No. They keep pushing. Not.
Oh, you want to rapeleja?
You're making it worse.
You want to rapeleja? Is
They're
that what you're saying?
persistent, like
They're persistent. Yeah.
They never stop pursuing a person.
They're
Yeah.
Of course.
Hey, the very same way you as a guy, you become persistent. You know, I think it's a matter of setting out boundaries and then telling the person how you feel and also what you prefer.
You know, I stopped going to a certain shop in Polokwane because there's a guy there.
Is it?
Hey.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Marasaleka nokwa this certain myth from some of my gay friends. They say there's no way baka papelang auti e nngwe wasn't a way by feeling kayona. Guys that are approached by gay men.
Okay.
Yeah, guys that are approached by gay men are more likely to no. They attract them. They attract gay men, and they are more likely to be who they think they are. But it's not like any other random guy.
Yeah.
You know,
So
they know. It's like, oh, we're not telling you as a guy right now. You know your girls.
Hey, underscore.
We're not telling you as a guy right now. You know your girls. You know your type. There are certain girls that you can. Hey, but okay. Just like you as a guy right now, you cannot just go to any other girl. You cannot approach each and every woman that you come across.
That's true, but it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different. I'm saying. Hey, let's move from this
suspicious
topic.
about them.
No. I actually
It's
no. I think it's a misconception for
It might
heterosexual
be. It might
for heterosexual
be.
people. Yeah, because even though they say real recognizes real, Mara, I agree you. The people in the community are given a right to identify and say Naki Namutumoso. So now we're also given the same right. We have the same right to I'm a straight man or I'm a straight woman. So being approached or being persisted by someone
pursued,
from the
yeah.
community doesn't necessarily make me anything.
Yeah.
Wa nkwishisha. Eno ba gore bona ke yena o no ba nyaka,
Not
mara-
necessarily, yeah.
O type ya gagwe.
You-
Not
yeah, wa nkwishisha, wa
Abar-
nkwishisha.
Abari, gay man, you'll correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
If he is gay, o nyaka go ba le monna o a being sure this is a man who is going to dominate me.
I heard
A nyaka go ba le motho ke gay mara a nyaka
with
go
another gay
kry
man.
out
Mara ba gona ba ile gore they
not
can-
necessarily another gay man.
Yeah.
A kry out o mo straight mara o ile goreng o soft. So o nyaka gore ga ke e le gay ke ena monna. He knows he's strong. He's a man but he's gay. O
Serious?
nyaka gore ga ke rile monna. Ebe a strong man who shows physically that this is a strong man and ga ka no ntshwara mphethola ke moka. I'll feel like a
I'm
woman.
not aware of that.
No, I'm just saying. I thought.
I'm not aware of that. I don't know.
I thought.
I don't know.
So, but do you think like a gay guy could want to be in bed with a man who is feminine? Not necessarily
Oh,
not
yeah.
feminine in terms of,
Yeah, yeah, kushisha.
but a soft man.
Yeah. In most cases, gay men
That's what
want
we're
to be with a
being approached
masculine
for.
guy.
That's why what we're being
Yeah.
approached for. Not necessarily to say they see a gay element in me or something like that.
Yeah, I understand.
Agro underscore.
Mm.
All
Yeah,
right.
kushe- eh, o tlhagatšagane.
No. All right, let's move. Sexual misconceptions. Joe Killing about people in your community. That people think certain things happen when you guys are engaging in sexual activity, or certain things that they think you guys can't do because you are gay or so forth.
Gosh. There's an obvious one, number one, which is, apart from sexual diversity, a person is born with a sexual organ. And the sexual organ that is either a vagina or a penis. Being born with a vagina, it functions the very same way other vaginas do function, right? They stimulate the very same way. They undergo the similar process of, menstrual cycle. They get wet the very same way. Again, same as someone who is born and assigned at birth with a penis. It works and functions the very same way other penises do function. It erects the very same way. It becomes whatever the very same way. Again, so there's no difference, and there's nothing as myths that gay men's penises don't work. They do
Not to
work.
say it doesn't work. It works.
It
but
works
when-
and functions the very same way as any other guy's dicks do function.
Oh, okay. So
know?
when you're not chance,
No, there's one person or people that are very much consistent and know themselves are LGBT people.
Yeah.
They have found themselves that they know who they are, they know what they want, and they know what they are sexually attracted to. There can never be a chance where this gay person would risk their life to sleep with a girl because they are their friends, or they are naked in front of them, or they expose nudity in front of them. They can't. They're not sexually attracted to women. They can just be seeing different asses with different shapes and different body in different shapes, but they can't. Unless if it's a guy where they have to risk or negotiate or talk about it. It's possible. But they function the very same, sexually, they function the very same way. It's just that the sexual practice, it's different from heterosexual people or cisgender people. Because when the cisgender people in a relationship or in a sexual affair, it's a penis and a vagina, which is going to engage in a penetration. And now when it's a lesbian with another woman, it's a vagina to vagina. There are certain activities that they do to pleasure rise one another. Same as a gay man with another guy, or even a trans woman with a man. There's a certain way in which sexual activities are done or implemented, amongst the both of us. However, sexual organs function the same way.
Same.
There's no difference.
I see. Kujo, Hero, you ever had, okay, we're approaching the end. Have you ever had anything that you feel like is a misconception in terms of sexual activities? Nothing. Or okay, I explain. So I'm giving you a chance. Are you fine? Give her a chance. I know she's very interested. Sexual misconceptions in the LGBTQ community.
I don't want to ask any.
Oh, Usha, be saying one. Mujeleng Mike. Mujeleng Mike. Okay.
But I had a question.
Yeah. Ask it.
Okay.
Good question. I got my fellow, and then you can do
The
it.
question I am a fellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a question, and it's gonna be personal. go the transgender, ne? Transgender, how do you say it?
Either way,
Either
men or women.
or transgender men or
Yeah.
transgender women.
Transgender men. You
Transgender
said-
men is a person who was born and assigned at birth as female.
Yes.
Now they are men. And the transgender woman, it's like me. I was born at birth and assigned at birth as a boy. Now I'm a woman.
So when in your case, accurately you're going through the process, you're still going through the process.
Yeah.
Does it involve or include changing like your genitals?
It does, but I haven't yet underwent that process. It's called gender reassignment surgery.
Okay.
There is a process where it's called, it's a surgery that is called gender reassignment surgery for a term with a street slang word, but sex has changed.
Yeah.
You know, so I haven't yet undergone that. I still have the genital area that I was born and assigned as birth with. Right.
Okay.
The only features that changed on myself, it's because of the hormonal replacement treatment,
Yeah.
the gender affirmation treatment that only changes my features, my voice, my skin, my body, my boobs,
Yeah.
the physical outer look.
Yeah.
You know, these are the only changes.
Yeah.
Now, what
And-
does that make like a man who dates someone like you?
It makes him straight or cisgender. It doesn't make him gay, or it doesn't make him questioning or anything with any. Doesn't make him identify as part of an LGBTI.
Oh. Yeah.
This is a man who is dating a woman.
Yeah.
Now the only difference with this woman he is dating is that the woman still has a penis.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. But it's a man who got sexually attracted, and the man saw me attracted
Yeah.
and approached me. That's what happened with my partner.
Yeah.
When we first met, he never thought, he didn't know anything about my
So a
sexuality.
woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see a woman that you're sexually attracted to, and then you approach that woman, then we started talking, and then I started disclosing myself, and then he was
Then he still
interested.
feels like, hey man, I'm
Nothing
here.
changed because all his feelings were already khalafuj.
Yeah.
You know, and then we started doing it.
Exactly.
So what can you advise men like that? Because I saw in a series, The Shy, a guy was dating Imani, right? Imani was a
What's the
transgender
series?
woman. The Shy.
The shark.
The Shy.
Shy.
The Shy, yeah,
Oh,
for Chicago.
okay.
Okay.
And then but that guy, I think his name was Trevor or something. They found out or Imani is a transgender, right? And then upon finding out, shaky, and everything, and everyone in the community also, and he was a political figure, and the community also
It affected his image.
It affected his whole image.
It happens to myself as well. When I wish he was here. So when
Happens to the boyfriend.
yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
When excuse me, when we started dating, and we've never become discreet.
Yeah.
We've been open from day one
Yeah.
about our relationship, and everyone could see, and people know in my community, in his community as well. And then days go by, and now some of his friends started knowing that wagape Thato bar so, you know, because some did not even know anything. So now after they discovered or they found out, they started acting differently towards him. You know, that affected him a lot.
Yeah.
So whatever you're telling me right now, it's something that we experienced
Yeah.
because people start thinking that because you are dating a trans woman, it means you are gay.
Yeah.
Or number two, because you're dating a transgender woman, it means there's something wrong with you. Well, I understand. Because now you're no longer dating, you know, cisgender women, you're the transgender woman. They would no longer be able to associate themselves with you, you know. So those kind of things, they happened, and we succumbed to them as time goes.
Okay. Good. This is gender again.
Enye?
Or cisgender.
Oh, cisgender ke motho mo straight.
Okay.
A ke lena le ba straight. A gona motho more le nna ke straight. So who's not straight? Ke marobegileng ke bare ke makobegileng. There's nothing like that. So these are cisgender, CIS.
Okay.
Cisgender. It means it's you, if you are cisgender, having an no.
Cisgender again.
You know, from like it's
Kiragon.
I'm just giving an example right now. Let's say if you're a cisgender man, I get or straight
Okay.
with your girlfriend,
Yeah.
for an example.
Yeah.
It's a heterosexual relationship.
Okay. Yeah.
I get it. So it's a heterosexual relationship, just like mine. It's a heterosexual relationship.
Of course.
But I'm not cisgender. I'm transgender.
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, I get it.
But the guy I'm dating is
It's
cisgender.
cisgender. Yeah.
Yes.
I get it. Can we I think we should close it a bit. So Puchishaga Mafello, I'm going to read it out. What message would you give to those struggling to find acceptance in their community? In closing, those that are struggling to find acceptance wherever they exist, wherever they live, in those communities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Summertime game, find yourself.
Yeah.
Have self-awareness.
Yeah.
Know who you are, understand what you want, and don't be afraid to ask people that inspire you and people that you see as your role model, and find out how did they pull through, how did they got to where they are at this point, so that it can also assist you to build your inner being and develop yourself as a human being. Never be afraid to express yourself the very same way you'd want to express yourself, and be out there, be visible. Ge ba re gona le Limpopo Pride, ge ba re gona le Mokopane Pride, ge ba re gona le Vembe Pride, ge ba re gona le Mobani Pride in your communities. Go and participate. Go and engage with people that you share similar sentiments with, because the more you categorize yourself with or the more in the same language, you will never grow, because these are people that don't speak or don't even identify themselves as who you identify yourself as. So you go to such activities, you participate in them, you network with such people, and then you learn from them. You equip yourself with so much knowledge, and then tomorrow you become the better version of you. The very same lives that they are living, that you desire to live, but because of an oppression, because of the environment, maybe because of some certain circumstances, you can't. So it's self-awareness, self-acceptance, and know yourself. Stand your own ground.
Hey man, we're coming at you live from Gohorum Pub and Grill. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Click on the post notification so you get notified every time we drop an episode. We're approaching the end, Hero. I'm going to open the floor. Ask questions before I close it down. Underscore. So, could you? Okay. Do you want to say anything in closing, or that's it?
I can say anything
No.
now.
Give the
Or
guy
what
mic.
else,
I
something?
don't think we've been talking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Hey, introduce yourself, man. Come on.
Oh, it's your boy, True Boy _ say 52 times you already know.
Yeah.
My lady. Are you bisexual or are you straight?
I've just mentioned my. Oh, maybe you're not here.
No, it
I'm
wasn't
transgender. I'm trans.
Yeah.
I thank you for the answer.
You see?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. Hey man, this has been the council with me, Mpomek Fool. Let me take this opportunity to thank you for coming to our show, coming to have a conversation with me and the crew. So it means a lot to me. My platform is to spread knowledge, to give people enlightenment, to educate, discussing social issues and so forth. The aim is not to shame anyone or ridicule anyone, but is to educate people. So I want to appreciate you for helping me to push the narrative of educating people, So it means a lot to me. It means a lot to the viewers at home. So let me thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Hey man, we're out of here. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Click on the post notification so you get notified every time we drop an episode. Thank you so much, man. We're out of here. Thank you. Salute. It's fine, my big English. How can you not?